Yeah. I have no issues with them. Thank you. No worries. All right, to be honest, it probably took me 2 years because I was constantly changing up software, and every time a software would do an update, it would mess something else up. So yeah, it just took me probably two and a half years. Like now I'm at a point where if I do, it's rare that I stream, but if I do, I'm just like, I want to keep it super simple. I used to have like an elaborate layout, but like, I don't know. OBS is so temperamental. Yeah. Yeah, fine.
There you go. All right, we are live right now. Yeah, we have like 4 people watching us, 4 more than I expected. Welcome, Michael. It's really good to have you. Welcome to this version of like Get to Know Our Partners. You are like our second guest, and yeah, welcome. Thank you for making the
Yeah,
time.
aloha. Thank you. Aloha. Honored to be here. How's everyone doing?
It's pretty good. Like it's well, it's 9:57 a.m. here at Taipei time. How about Hawaii?
Wow. It's 3:57 over here in the afternoon.
Wow. How's that difference though? Like, cause I know like EST and Hawaii time have like a big ass difference. Like, I was like checking on like when making the announcement.
Yeah.
And like, how do you, for example, maybe this is a question that it was not planned, but like I just want to I go ahead and ask you, how do you really coordinate? I imagine you like work with brands that are like from the mainland, and you work with brands like from like also outside of the U.S. I imagine the Hawaii time is like a very specific special time because like it's like very close to, I guess, that line that like divides
Yeah.
like the world time. How do you do it?
So for me, I typically have to sometimes I had to get up at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning my time just to start like scheduling out and reaching out to companies and people. So like um there's a company that I'm going to be working with. I can't name him yet because he's
Uh-huh.
under NDA,
Yeah.
but they're located within Florida. So I had to get up at 3:30
Uh huh.
just to like do the different conference calls I was doing with them and just coordinate it. And so I've gotten so just used to it. So my days start usually 2:30, 3:30 in the morning, and
Okay.
then usually will end about 9 o'clock at night my time. And that's just so I can acclimate to, you know, other time zones. But other than that, it's really difficult
Oh,
because there are times when I wish I could just sleep in, and typically that's the weekend. But yeah, it's rough.
how do you balance, your professional like creator career with family? How do you do that?
So
Is it
that for
very
me is very
exhausting?
difficult.
Hmm.
It's really difficult, especially because I have 3 girls, 3 daughters.
Uh huh.
2 are 10 years old, both. Well, one's about to be 11 in a couple days. The other one is 3.
Uh huh.
So I have to really balance out like when I'm working. So usually when I'm working, they're sleeping. By the time they get up, that's when I go on like an extended break. So if I'm, taking one to whatever activities or to the park or whatever, then I'll do that from like typically 9:30 my time to like noon.
Uh-huh.
And then by the time we get home, uh their mom can take over, and then it just goes from there, and I just get back to working. And then usually I have a hard stop of about 5 p.m. my time of
Uh-huh.
just working, so I can just have the rest of the day to family.
Ah.
It's really difficult to manage it, but I just put everything on my calendar,
Uh-huh.
and I try to stick as close as I can to my time schedule with that
Okay.
to maneuver throughout the day.
Okay. Respect. That's mad respect for you. All right, let's officially start the interview, and I would like to. Sorry, those were just questions that just came. Like I just like wait.
No, no, no.
That's like I really want to know about this. Tell me, as a content creator, what inspired you specifically, Michael, to become a content creator? Tell us more.
So for me, I've always been into gaming and tech, and
Mm-hmm.
I can say, like, going all the way back to when I first started reading magazines back in the 90s. I used to read a lot of GamePro magazine,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of games and tech magazine, EGM and such. And I was always like blown away with people being able to write about games and tech that they enjoyed. And
Mm-hmm.
back then, like, I used to tell my family that I wanted to get into, you know, reviewing games and reviewing tech. And back then in the 90s, people thought you were crazy. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's not something anyone, like, that's only certain people can do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, for me, like, I always held on to that because I always wanted to do it. I just never knew how. And so
Mm-hmm.
when I went to college, I got into journalism,
Uh-huh.
and I did that along with marketing. And when I graduated in 2008, I was like, okay, so this is the field I'm going to go into. And then we had the whole economic crash, and then so I had to pivot over to doing
Which of them not?
IT. But yeah, I know there's just so many of them. So I had to pivot over to IT, but I always, even when I was working in IT, and I also at the same time was working for Microsoft,
Uh-huh.
um, my best friend and I, we always talked about games and tech, and we just kept doing it even when we were at work. Until one day, I want to say it was 2015, you know, um, the idea just got in my head, like, hey, you got this computer, get yourself a microphone, get a webcam, and just start recording. So I started back in 2015. I had no idea what I was doing,
Mm.
but I saw there were streamers I was fans of back then, YouTubers, outlets, and I was just like, I just want to do this. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna get to where they are, but I'm just gonna keep doing
Mm-hmm.
this and learning as I went along the way. And so I just started incorporating stuff I would see from creators that I enjoyed,
Mm.
and also, from what I used to grow up reading. And so I just stuck with it.
Mm-hmm.
And, here I am now doing it full time. So it was just a passion that of something I've always wanted to do. Is just, when I was a kid growing up, it just wasn't a viable option.
Uh-huh.
But hey, 20 years later, boom, there it is.
So how has your journey been so far?
It it's been interesting. I would say it's been, some days it's smooth, some days it's rocky. Like, it's more so rocky than smooth, just because you have to. There's no, I would say there's no handbook or guide
Yeah.
or map on how to do this, because everybody's journey is so individual to that person. So for me, it's just been, you know, rough, because at one point I was working full time and doing content creating full time, like streaming full
Mm.
time, podcasting full time, making YouTube videos full time, writing reviews full time, and trying to juggle being married, having a family, and everything like that. And it was crazy. It still is. It's just now that I do this full time, I get to focus more of my time on it.
Mm.
But it's been hard learning the work life balance.
Mm.
It's been very difficult understanding how to monetize doing this full time. A lot of people think, oh, it's all about the views and the subs and the followers. And a lot of times, I mean, that helps,
Yeah.
but it's really like working with brands, having brand deals, having sponsorships, having endorsements, having to navigate and learn how to approach companies, or when companies approach you, how to, formulate all that. Because sometimes you'll have companies like, hey, we want you to review this product or showcase this thing. We'll send it to you.
Hmm.
We're not going to pay you. Like sometimes that's good, but other days you need to pay the bills. So it's like,
Yeah.
all right, hey, this is what my time is worth.
Yeah.
Here's my rate, and learning how to navigate it. How do you set a rate?
Yeah.
It's a journey.
Mm.
It's quite a journey for me. It's just been rocky. trying to Especially trying to make at least equivalent to what I was making in IT. Like I'm not quite there,
Mm.
but I make enough to live comfortably.
No,
So
okay.
especially in Hawaii being as expensive as it is here.
I've heard. I've heard. Okay, so well, knowing you, knowing your channel, well, you specialize in gaming in tech, but according to you, and well, in a podcast, right? According to you, what would be like your strength, like that tech
Um,
reviews, gaming, or like other type of other
I
type of
would
things?
say for me personally, I think my specialty would be more so podcasting
Mm.
because I love interviewing people, talking to different people.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the reasons for that is a lot of people may not know this about me, but English is not my first language.
Oh.
It's actually Samoan,
Oh, really?
and so yeah,
That's
I'm,
cool.
I'm originally from Samoa.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Okay. That
so
explains the tattoo.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I was wondering when you told us about it. I was wondering, okay, so like, because I've seen the patterns. Those are like Pacific Islander type of like patterns, and
Yeah.
I don't know if that was a part of the culture of Hawaii. But now you're telling me, oh, Samoan and everything. So that's cool though. All right.
Yeah, so my tattoo is like a mixture of Hawaiian, Tongan, Samoan. And I wanted to weave it all in, and I got it done traditional tap. Just painful.
Ugh.
If you can get your tattoo with gun, I would recommend that because tap is yeah, that's an experience. And I'm
Okay.
not done yet because I still got to do my left pectoral
Okay.
to complete it. But
So podcasting.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, so like for me, like I said, English isn't my first language. I do have dyslexia and speech impediment. So for me, I've always I love talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'm not the greatest with communicating,
Mm-hmm.
and so for me, it's just learning, talking to different people, learning from people from different walks of life, from different parts of the world, and I think that's my specialty is just doing that because I can talk to someone within 5 minutes, get them from being super guarded to like we're talking like we've been talking for years.
That's
So
nice.
that's personally what I feel to be my strong suit. I love gaming and I love tech. That's always something I'm passionate
Uh
about.
huh.
But I feel like given how and this might be an interesting take, but the
Okay.
way that content has shifted since COVID happened.
Uh
I
huh.
feel like we have, the floodgates are open. So many people have hopped into
Yeah.
covering games and covering tech,
Yeah, that's true.
whereas not many people I feel are as great at or specialize in podcasting or interviewing. Like everyone's got a podcast now,
Yeah,
but how many
yeah. Look at
people
us.
can stick with it and be great at it, right? And,
That's true.
and I'm on 3 different shows.
That's true.
So I feel like that's definitely my
So,
my
so,
specialty.
so what I understand from what you're telling me is that okay, so your specialties, at least like in terms of like oh, like I've specialized in these kind of things, is like tech. From what I hear, you're like a technical background, but your podcast is pretty genuine. It's pretty like it's pretty honest. So that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Yeah, that's yeah. Well, that's what we're trying to do here at the same time. Now that you mention your like your podcast, tell us about it. Like, tell us a little bit more about Casanova podcast and making a
Okay.
quick promotion here. What's, for example, what made you, or like when did you start like, oh, like let's do a podcast? Because from what I remember, your time with AVerMedia, your podcast is pretty recent in comparison to your like content creation career. And
Yeah.
yeah, so like when did you like decided that, you know what, I want to like talk to people, I want to like create some genuine, honest, like personal content in a way. So yeah.
So for me, with podcasting, I actually started podcasting back in 2016. So one of my best friends, Cameron Biggs of CarQuicks, we were both working at Microsoft at the time, and we always, like I said, we were talking games and tech, and so we started a podcast called Podcast Etc.
Uh-huh.
And we were doing that for months up until he ended up ultimately moving away from Hawaii towards the end of 2016. So I still had all the gear. And I was like, okay, so since him and I can't continue doing this show, what can I do?
Uh-huh.
And so, I already had the name and branding for Miguel Casanova. For those who don't know, like where that name comes from, my grandfather on my dad's side, his name was Miguel Casanova, and so my name being Miguel, last name's actually Falteo, but I wanted to honor my grandfather, so
Okay.
kind of just switched the name up. So Miguel
Hispanic.
Casanova.
Hispanic.
Yes, Dominican.
Ah,
Dominican.
there you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm definitely a mixed plate. I'm mixed with a lot of things,
All
but
right.
so I had all the equipment, the gear, and everything. I was like, all right, so let's just start a Casanova podcast.
Okay.
And so it went for me towards the end of 2016, talking about games and tech and my opinion on it, to me starting to reach out to content creators that I enjoyed watching. And after a while, of talking to and interviewing various content creators, I got to a point where I was like, okay, how about I reach out to, celebrities and
Okay.
voice actors and game developers and such. So I started reaching out to them. I want to say in 2018 is roughly when I reached out to them. And one of the first people I ever had on my podcast was that was a voice actor or celebrity was Griffin Burns. And a lot of people would know him as Child from or Tatagula from Genshin Impact. He was
Okay.
the main character in Devilman Crybaby. Yeah, he was my first
What?
guest.
Dante.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was Dante.
No, he was in the Devilman. Was it
I mean, because you said
Devilman?
Devil May Cry, that's like the name. The guy with the guns is Dante, I think. The
No, Devilman Crybaby. I
okay,
actually have had him on
okay.
too.
Oh, okay.
So
Uh
yeah,
huh.
so he was one of the first ones I had on. I've had on actually Ruben Langdon, who is Dante from Devil May Cry.
Okay.
I've had him on. He's the godfather of one of my youngest daughter. Comes over whenever he comes to Hawaii, he stays with us. So I've had him on.
Okay.
I've had a lot of different people. Cal Luber, who does Ryu and Street Fighter and Gohan and Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super. Just you name the gambit of
Uh huh.
influential voice actors and celebrities, and I've been interviewing them since 2018.
Damn.
So it was something. The inspiration for that was I always saw other people interviewing voice actors and celebrities, and it always felt kind of like, I don't know, like unnatural. It didn't really feel like an organic conversation.
Okay.
And so, like, I would have some questions lined up for people, but I was like, okay, how about we just flip the script and I start talking to people about, what they're doing? Like,
Mm.
okay, so what is the things that you enjoy within the field that you're in, and what do you like to do when you're not working? Like, what's something that people may not know about you? Like, how do I get that to stand out?
Okay.
So that was really the biggest thing for me with that show, and it's really the show that really platformed my career. I've been reviewing games and tech since 2016, but doing those type of interviews that other people were not doing in Hawaii, or if they were, it was limited to a few outlets here and there, and only if people came to Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, I can be the first to do it. No one else is doing it. I can also even stand out amongst people in the mainland and globally.
Mm-hmm.
So, that was really the inspiration for that. And it's been going. It's what led into me being a full-time content creator, because podcasting and specifically that show is my main bread and butter.
Mm.
That is what I actually left IT to go full on in. And so still doing that. I've got a lot of guests lined up this year. I've got Chris Sabat, who does All Might from My Hero Academia,
Ah,
and
no
also
way.
Vegeta and Piccolo. Yeah, I just saw him at Kawaii Con. It was actually crazy.
Okay.
We had Kawaii Con, and so when I went there and I got in the line to see him and talk to him, because my wife and I were press,
Uh-huh.
and he's like, "You're Mikhail Casanova. I know who you are.
Oh,
You've interviewed all my colleagues. I gotta have you on. You gotta have me on your show." And so I was like, "Let's go ahead and make it happen." So I got him, Johnny Young Bosch. You guys know him as Vasha Stampede from Trigun, and the original. Well, no, the second. I think he's the second Black Ranger from Power Rangers,
no
and
way.
so many other things. He's in Demon
Man,
Slayer.
you know what's
So
funny?
yeah.
It's funny because like you keep naming like personally well I just can't help it. Like I was like, okay, how many like famous people has he actually interviewed? And then you mention a game that I actually know, and then well, I know the character, but not necessarily the voice actor. But now they're bringing up all the way to like Power Rangers. But which Power Rangers? Like when I was growing up, I remember like I think I saw a few of them, but which specifically was the series?
So he was in the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I think it was season 2 when they brought him in as Adam Park.
Okay.
So he was in that. And I think for a couple seasons until they start, I think Turbo was, or Power Rangers Turbo was the last one he did.
Okay.
And then they brought him back from here and there. But like other than that, he's mostly just been doing voice acting, and he's got his band. I think they're forgot the name of the band,
Uh-huh. Well, I
but
mean, you have a very big like network. Though I'm impressed. Like this is like a very big network of like just mainly voice actors, but like, wow. So you're telling me that you just like, you know what? I want to interview celebrities, and you just like start like approaching, texting them, or like did like base. This is just very impressive, though. Not gonna lie.
so it so like one of the ways well, a couple of ways I started reaching out to people. um Twitter
Mm.
was initially the one I was, I'd either tweet to them or get DMs. I've seen it to them. If they had websites, I would find a contact us or an email
Mm-hmm.
and send an email to them. Or if they were at conventions, I would show up and talk to them and be like, hey, here's my business card.
Oh, okay.
Let me, I would love to have you on the show, and basically just building out that portfolio.
Uh-huh.
I think 2020 was one of my biggest years because I had David Hayter, who's Solid Snake and Big Boss from the Metal Gear Solid series.
Wow.
And he also screen wrote X-Men 1 and 2, those movies. And then I had John Eric Bentley, who did Barrett and Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth.
Okay.
And those two have become two of my best friends. Just after that, and that's one of the things too. Like I don't always try to shoot for being friends with a lot of people I have on my show, but it just kind of naturally goes that way. And I become the Hawaii Connect. People come out here, hey, you stay with me, or I'll take you around. I'll show you this and this, and it just kind of goes from there. So
That's great. Well, that I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Well, now let's move to the next question. So, tell me, you have been with the brand, I believe, longer than I have been with AVerMedia. So, like, just wanting to know how has been your experience as an AVerMedia partner? Like just overall, like like our products. Yeah, just if you could tell me a little bit more about it.
Okay, so I think I've been with AVerMedia 5 years
Mm.
almost,
Mm.
or maybe 5.5 years I've been with AVerMedia. It's been, and people, I'm not paid to say this or anything like this, but this is my honest opinion. It's been a great, probably one of the, if not the best program that I've ever been part of, or partnership that I've ever been a part of. And it's just been everything from, the staff I've gotten to work with, like you and Ricardo and others, and even the previous team before. It was always a great experience. You guys were honestly the first company to ever give me an opportunity to partner. And, I, I just took the ball and I ran with it. So it's been great, as far as like the products, and this is no shade at competition or anything, but I've always bought other brands, and this is before I became an AVerMedia partner.
Mhm.
I bought other brands, and their stuff would work great for a minute and just stop working. But I still have my Live Gamer 4K, the
Okay.
original.
Okay.
It still works. I've never had an issue with it. I had that before I became an AVerMedia partner. I still got the webcam, which they work. The 1080p and the 4K one, they still work for me. I've got the live streamer Nexus, or just a live streamer, it's the audio interface.
Hmm.
Never had an issue with it. Like, and just generally everything that I've gotten works. And if I've ever run into any like software issues and anything, I've always been able to reach out to you guys, talk, and find a solution. Hey, this is the steps that got me to here. You guys get back to me like, hey, try this update, try that, and it's just been seamless. So I would say like the direct line of communication and how quick it is something. And I'm a partner in many other programs, PlayStation, Xbox, and so on. And I will say that I've never had as great and as smooth and open line of communication with any other partner program as I do with AVerMedia. And you guys take care of your partners. And I'm not saying other companies don't. I'm not saying other companies don't, but you guys really do take care of your
Well,
partners. And for me, it's an honor to be part of this program.
well, I mean, it's also our honor. Like, Michael, thank you for like sticking out with us, like being here, and just choosing our brand at least for a collaboration. It really means a lot. One of the goals of our brand is to be able to reach just content creators overall. Like, we are not like, I imagine a lot of partners, like a lot of companies, they look for like the most, the ones with the bigger numbers, like the ones with like
Yeah.
the more, who already have a lot, like a lot of experience, who are already like very like who have been in the platform for a while. We, of course, I'm not gonna lie, that's it's good to have those partners, but at the same time, like, we understand that a lot of people have great potential, and if we see, when especially like the partnership team, if we see someone who has the potential of becoming just like a great content creator, like in whatever field they have, then we do our best to support it. And yeah, at the same time, we're really thankful for them to choosing our brand. And the secret, it's love. Nah, I mean, uh, no, I mean, it's really fun actually. Me personally, I've had to approach many partners for like future, for collaborations, and they are just, in many cases, they are just really thankful to get
Mhm.
the opportunity, because this like increases their chances of like, I don't know, like more exposure in the future, like to be taken more seriously with other brands, even like not necessarily just us. And so if they, when they are like this, like us as a brand who are working with them, the least we can do is like just be the same with them, like just have the same enthusiasm, like like return what they have given us, like they're like, yeah, their trust and everything. And we are really thankful for like partners like you. And yeah, and again, maybe I'm being paid like the hour right now, but like, I'm being honest right now, we do enjoy a lot, like interacting, working, collaborating, just making like a quick shout out, I don't know, like a giveaway. We do enjoy doing that, like just like for content creators. Yeah, so thank you. And now I really want to know, what's your favorite AVerMedia product from all the ones that you've tried?
So I could say Salive Gamer 4K 2.1. I
Okay.
could say that because I use it constantly.
You
But
could
my
say that.
favorite product is the Live Streamer Nexus, which I think is just
Okay.
called the Live Streamer at this point.
Yeah,
The
that's
reason,
X310. Yeah.
yeah, so the reason I love this
Okay.
is, as you guys know, I'm a podcaster. It's my
Yeah.
full time gig, and it literally combines everything that I need once. My audio interface, I can route, you know, my consoles directly into it. If I
Mm-hmm.
want to, I can, if I want to do phone calls, I can connect via, 3.5 millimeter into it, connect my headphones directly into it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then it's also got programmable buttons, so I can have, them act as hotkeys. You have the touch interface. It's literally the all-in-one center of
Mm-hmm.
before what I used to use of, a rival competitors,
Okay.
little deck thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I had that. And now that I have this, I don't even use that anymore because
Okay.
I can control my lighting, I can control my
Uh-huh.
audio, I control my scene switching and everything like that. I can look at my stats and metrics, my chat screen, everything is literally right there in this device. And what I've been doing is I've been heavily promoting this to other podcasters because there are so many different devices out there for us as podcasters. We've got stuff from Rode. We got the Rodecaster Pro and
Uh-huh.
Pro 2. I've got the Pro 2. I've got it in my living room.
Okay.
There are other devices that are out there, but a lot of us want something that, especially if we do a live stream podcast, we want to have everything directly integrated right there.
Okay.
And this device allows you to do that. So when I'm talking to other podcasters or people who are aspiring to be podcasters,
Uh-huh.
like, hey, what kind of equipment do I need? I'm like, hey, just get this, get yourself an XLR mic, and you can go from there. Like, this is literally going to be everything you need, regardless of the platform you're using it on.
Okay.
This allows you to, get up and going. And then there's so many different things if you want to do voice modifications and such
Mm-hmm.
like that. And the biggest thing I love about this one particular device is you can, you create your AVerMedia account,
Uh-huh.
and regardless of where you go, or if you get a new device,
Uh-huh.
if you log in, boom, there are your settings.
Ah, okay.
Everything is right there,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
it's so good. I mean, to see where the software is now compared to when it first, but even before it came, because I was beta testing the software before it came out
Uh-huh.
and the device itself, to see where it came from to where it is now. And that's one of the things I love about just helping out with companies with R&D is being able to see that growth, because you know software can always be rough at first.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's perfect when it's
Yeah.
especially this was the first of its kind. There was no one else was doing that,
Yeah.
and that was one of the things I made sure to highlight when I reviewed it. Is like, hey, this is a one of a kind device. Nobody else is doing this.
Okay.
So you got to work with it, but
Mm-hmm.
there's not a high turnover of like, hey, here's a new product every 6 months, every year.
Yeah.
This has been out for years, and it's only getting better. And
Thank
this is
you.
my favorite
Thank you.
device.
Thank you. Well, so would you say, and this is a very interesting take, that AX310 has actually helped you and improved in your podcasting experience, or like at least how
Yes.
you manage? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
I would say it definitely has. And just like I said, everything being there. So when I do my shows, if I'm running it through
mm-hmm.
OBS or even through other software, I can have, a laugh track go if I have
Yeah,
something going crazy, if I need to fade in or fade out music,
and you can
I can
integrate
easily do that.
other softwares there,
Yeah.
like voice mode. I guess is one of them. Like you can have your
Yeah.
Spotify there. That's really cool. Let me write this down. So extra 10 for podcast. That's really great to know. Actually, personally, it's really great to hear like when other content creators tells you like genuinely how like your products just help just helping like whatever they need. Like we do appreciate like all like that, even if it's like a Twitter comment, like
Yeah.
yeah, like we do appreciate, and at the same time, to have some level of self awareness. Like at the same time, we also see when our product is not working, and we get feedback from that. Just to let like the audience know, yeah, we do see that, and we do our best to improve. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not the CEO, so don't take my word for granted. But it's really great. And now that I know that your favorite product, would you say, is that the AX310, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So,
Yeah.
now that, like, well, leave it maybe like the brand aside, uh, I know like a lot of people, maybe some people who are watching are like upcoming content creators, or they want to become content creators, or they just like are still, like maybe struggling to get the right amount of views, the brand deals, or like, just anything. Do you have any advice for them, for the audience, for or like for anyone who sees this like stream in the future? Like, do you have any advice for upcoming content creators?
So I'll say the same thing I said a couple weeks ago when I was working with the state of Hawaii and Queen Liliuokalani's trust fund because we're trying to bring game development and more to Hawaii. So
Mm-hmm.
they brought me onto that project, and I got to speak to the kids here, and also it was in collaboration with Game Heads Oakland, and that got telecasted to nationwide. So I'll say the same thing I said there, and it's that when it comes to becoming a content creator or at any point, like if you want to start, if you're wondering where do I start to start,
Mm-hmm.
make content about anything. It doesn't have to be gaming, it doesn't have to be tech. Whatever you have a passion or genuine interest in, make content on that and share. You can share, hey, this is what it is. Say if you're reviewing, I'm looking around for a product. So if you got a controller and your
Mm-hmm.
specialty is controllers. All right, talk about it. Talk about the pros and cons of it, the technical breakdown, but also be able to translate that into layman terms because you're going to get people who may not understand it. You need to be able to break it down
Mm-hmm.
and also inject you into it.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to trying to get brand deals and stuff like that, you gotta build up and have a portfolio of work. I tell people all the time, if you don't have a YouTube channel, go ahead and make one and start. If you're trying to work with companies to do tech and gaming, start making reviews, start making commentary videos, like and have that laid out in a way so that it's like a resume. So someone goes to your channel, they see everything that you're working on, they see what you've done, and they can just scroll through. Also, get yourself a website. There's plenty of places, Squarespace, Wix.
Mm-hmm.
Make a website because that's also a portfolio and body of
Yeah.
work for you. So you need to do that. And honestly, just appreciate the process and understand that you're not going to be the next somebody else.
Yeah.
Whoever you admire, that's their journey. That's not going to be yours. Everyone has an individual journey. You know, if somebody gets a code or they get a product and you don't get it, hey, it's not never. You're not going to ever
Mm-hmm.
never get it.
Yeah.
It's not right now. Come back to it. Work harder. Prove yourself. And don't become, and I know this is something a lot of people obsess over it, and I've done this long enough to see it. I've seen it ruin a lot of people and ruin relationships and friendships, but the obsession with numbers and metrics, they are important. Having views, having subs, having followers, it is important, but it's not more important than you, the creator, and you, the individual.
Mm-hmm.
It's not more important than your audience.
Mm-hmm.
There's a thing that I've been very much speaking out on lately, and it's the transactional nature of how some content creators view other people as just something that they can gain something from, someone they can use. And you don't want to have that reputation of being that guy or girl or
Yeah.
person. You want to be completely authentic in everything that you do. So don't view people as just a metric because
No.
it's one, that's not right, and two, you never know, the person that you're nice to now or even that you're mean to now
Mm-hmm.
could at some point present an opportunity for you. you know
Mm-hmm.
so always be mindful of that. Hone your craft, get better at it. If it takes you say a week to do a video, start getting better at it so it can take you a couple of days, and get better at that to where it can take you a couple hours
Mm-hmm.
or a couple minutes. I've got a workflow now. If I record a video, I can do it start to finish, throw it in Premiere, throw it in CapCut, be done with it. 10 minutes later, boom, it's uploaded, and there we go.
Mm-hmm.
Streamline your work process. Learn how to reach out to people, to organizations and individuals you like to work with. Treat this with the respect it is as a business and a brand. If you want to go and make this professional. If not, then it's a hobby.
Hmm.
But if you reach out to people, reach out to them respectfully. You know, it's such a multifaceted question, but yeah, just treat it with the respect it deserves. You know, be genuine in everything you do. Give 100% of yourself.
Hmm.
And if you do get to work with brands, if they send you product or they, like I do a lot of paid collaborations now.
Hmm.
If a company reaches out to me to do a paid collaboration or reaches out to me to review something or do R&D for something, I have to make sure I make it a priority to always deliver. So
Hmm.
you always want to deliver because you want to gain and maintain the trust that you build, the equity that you build with these companies. Because as massive as this field is, the people who make the decisions of who to work with, typically it's a small pool of people. And when I say small, I'm saying a couple thousands globally. They usually communicate with one another. So if you do really horrible with one company or one brand, chances are that's going to get around and that reputation will follow you.
Hmm.
So if you get the opportunity, just think of it like this: 5 billion or so people on this planet,
Hmm.
they chose you.
Yeah.
So always deliver, make your word and your action be in lockstep, and just enjoy the process.
Especially in this, well, I don't know if I would call it a market, but like especially in this like area or like yeah, demographic of streamers. Well, like there's just honestly not that many brands, like for streaming equipment and like
Yeah.
for just tech. Usually it's just like the same five, the same six, like who will just bring up new products. So I think that just makes it a little bit more difficult for like content creators to just be noticed. But
Yeah.
what you say is really true. Like us from the brand side, like we also see, for example, the authenticity in which like the content creator like will just like the create its content, just like how genuine they are, just like how much effort they put, like not just numbers, not just like subscribers, not just like followers, like consistency, effort, like it doesn't have to be, well, personally speaking, like from the brand side, like I've interviewed like other like partners, and their content is, for example, very different from yours. But what I
Mhm.
can see that like it's in common, that you guys share in common, is that you both found something that you are passionate for, and you like put all your effort on it, and that's how you have slowly like starting to grow like your community. That's how you slowly start to grow your career, and that's how I think a lot of people, or like upcoming content creators, should just like start, like a lot of them, they just like want to copy like the same system, they want to copy the same styles of like other like content creators who are like already big. But I would say
Yeah.
like the best is what you say, like just find your passion, like, and work on it, like start like well, something that you enjoy, something that you want to do, something where you will say like, oh yeah, I want to take this serious, like, and yeah, that's really great, Michael. Thank you so much. Thank you. And well, actually, I think I haven't asked you. So I know you're a proud Hawaiian. That's something
Yes.
really great. But like when I was, I think you're the first Hawaiian that I ever meet, and that like
Oh,
I like how, personally, I like how you, well, like your culture, like you are very proud of it. And whenever we say
yes.
hi to you, you say aloha. Like whenever we say Hawaii, like at least written like, and then you say Hawaii, you write it like how it is, like how would you say this, like Hawaii I apostrophe I, or something like that.
Yes,
Like,
yes, yes,
can you
yes.
tell me about that? Like why is Hawaii like that? Like why do we in the West like just write it a different way? I want to know that.
I think it's just simplification.
Mm.
Just because a lot. It's also the pronunciation. Like a lot of people think it's Hawaii. It's actually every W in the Hawaiian language is actually a V, so it's actually Hawaii. But
Okay.
we just just because it's so easy to say Hawaii, and it's the simplification. That's all it is.
What? What?
Some people
Uh-huh.
some people are like really anal about how it's
Uh-huh.
pronounced and everything like that. But you know, so long as the culture is being shared globally, I think that's truly
Why
on the only thing that matters.
why I say this is because like alongside with your content creation career, then you also like are sure or like you make sure that you represent Hawaii and like the Hawaii culture is really there, like like in your podcast, in your like channel, like it's in your profile, like you can really see it, and like that's just really cool, like how you like just incorporate all that, within your own like content creation identity. That's mad respects, and we like love you for that and for many other reasons. But yeah, thank you, Meko. Thank you for making the time today. Well, I thank you. I know like you are a busy man, and hopefully we can keep collaborating in the future. And thank you, like
Yes.
for all this great advice. Like we got to know you even more. And yeah, if you have anything you would like to say before we finish, just go ahead.
All right. So I definitely want to thank you and AVerMedia for this opportunity to speak and be part of this process here, and really honestly for being the first company to ever give me an opportunity. Sometimes I understand as content creators when we're constantly grinding and putting out content, you never know who's paying attention, who's looking at what you're doing. And sometimes when you're so tunnel vision as a creator, you don't notice everything around you. But keep, keep doing what you're doing, keep improving your
Mm-hmm.
process, be respectful. One of the things I see a lot of creators do, and I think this is kind of a trend of, I want to be real. So that
Mm-hmm.
means I'm going to be vulgar and bash things. And yeah, you can grow doing that. You can grow fast, but that's like a flame that burns the brightest and burns out really quickly. You
Mm-hmm.
want to do this for a long time, hone your craft and be respectful. You can dislike certain aspects of a device, like, hey, I've got an iPhone and I've got a Pixel.
Mm-hmm.
I love my Pixel. I love Android, but there are certain things about it I dislike.
Mm-hmm.
But I can also say that in a respectful way without disrespecting the company or the brand.
No, okay.
So, you know, if you want to be critical, be respectful and critical.
Okay.
Give advice on how it can get better.
Mm.
But other than that, just thank you guys for all these years I've been with you and every opportunity I've had to review products and to have opportunities like this. It's been an absolute honor, and hey, many more years to come.
There you go. Cheers to that, man. With that, with some great and genuine, like, yeah, advice. We're gonna finish like our second edition of Get to Know Our Partners. Thank you, Michael, for being part of it. It was really great to know you, and thanks to everyone who joined. Yeah, it's like, and I guess I'll see you later, and yeah, keep creating. Oh, by the way, if you are looking to like get like any AVerMedia products, like if like after this, what code should we use, Michael?
Oh, use code Mikhail Casanova and save yourself some money at checkout.
There you go. All right, all right. And with that, we are out. Bye.